All right, we're going to jump right into one of the biggest, oldest, and most personal questions there is. Who, or, what, is the I that's experiencing everything right now?
I mean, really think about that for a second. Every single night, the person you think you are, all your thoughts, your worries, your identity, it just vanishes. And yet something returns in the morning to say, I slept well. So who was it that noticed the peace and quiet? This everyday thing we all do points to a massive puzzle about who we actually are.
And believe me, this is not a new question. For thousands of years, ancient philosophical traditions have been asking, what is the knower behind it all? Now today, modern neuroscience is asking the exact same thing, just with different words. How does the brain create the experience of knowing? It's like two different teams of explorers, starting from opposite sides of a mountain, trying to reach the same mysterious peak.
So how do you even begin to wrap your head around this? Well, both traditions actually tried to draw a map of our experience. And what's wild is what happens when you put those two maps side by side.
Okay, so let's start with the ancient map. This comes from the Mandukya Upanishad, a really foundational text from India. It breaks our experience down into four basic states. First, you've got the waking state. That's you, right now, engaged with the world. Second, the dreaming state, that wild internal movie theater. Third, deep sleep, which feels like nothing. And then there's the fourth one, the really mysterious one, the witness. This is described as a constant background awareness that's there through all the other three.
Now, let's fast forward thousands of years. Neuroscience has its own map, and check this out. It charts wakefulness, REM sleep, which is our dream state, and deep, dreamless sleep. The parallel is pretty stunning. But do you see what's missing from the scientific map? There's no line item for that fourth state, is there? No category for the witness.
And that right there, that is the heart of the problem. We can put someone in an fMRI machine and see the exact brain patterns for being awake, for dreaming, for being in deep sleep. But where in all of that beautiful data is the actual knower? Where's the you that's aware of it all happening?
This takes us to a fundamental limit in science, something we could call the observer problem. And it's actually pretty simple. The tool that's doing the measuring can't really measure itself. An eyeball can't see itself.
The ancient approach tackles this head-on. Kind of like a detective. It says, okay, are you your body? Well, no, because you are aware of your body. Are you your thoughts? Nope, because you can watch your thoughts come and go. It's not your feelings, it's not your memories, it's not even that blank state in deep sleep. It's the one thing that's always there, the awareness that all this stuff is happening in.
So this brings up a huge distinction. Science is the undisputed champion of studying objects, anything you can observe, poke, and measure. Your brainwaves, your cells, you could even argue your thoughts. Science can treat all of them as objects of study.
But consciousness itself isn't another object on the list. It's the subjective space where all the objects appear. Here's an analogy. It's like the screen that the movie of your life is playing on. Science is absolutely brilliant at analyzing every single pixel of the movie, but it can't find the screen in the movie itself.
And there's no better place to see this puzzle up close than in the ultimate black box of our lives. Deep, dreamless sleep.
We've all said it. I had a great sleep, or I slept so peacefully. But if you pause and really think about what you're saying, it's an absolutely extraordinary claim. Seriously, how did you know? To report on an event, a reporter has to be there. But in deep sleep, your usual reporters, your thinking mind, your memory maker, your sense of self, they've all clocked out for the night. So who was there to witness the peace? Who was aware of the complete and total absence of everything?
Neuroscience can show us precisely what shuts down. We can see the brain's electrical activity take a nosedive. We know the hippocampus, the part that logs our memories, is essentially closed for business. The whole machinery that builds our sense of self is powered down.
And here's the absolute kicker. Science perfectly explains why you don't remember anything. The recording equipment was off. It explains the absence of the contents. But what it doesn't explain is the continuity of the container. What is that unbroken thread of I that connects the person who fell asleep to the one who woke up 8 hours later?
This distinction is so helpful. It gives us this powerful new lens for looking at these two different approaches. One is all about the contents, the other is about the container itself. Science is, without a doubt, the world's leading expert on the contents of our awareness. It can explain how our eyes process light to see the color blue, how our brain releases chemicals when we feel fear, how a memory gets wired into our neurons. It's focused on all the incredible stuff that fills our experience.
The ancient inquiry, on the other hand, just isn't that interested in the stuff. It's asking a different question. It wants to know about the nature of the container. It's not studying the characters on the screen. It's asking, what is the screen itself made of? So, where does all this leave us? This is maybe the most crucial point of all. The Mandukya Upanishad isn't actually trying to get you to believe anything. It's giving you a method, an experiment you can conduct in the laboratory of your own mind. And the experiment is this simple. Just look. Just notice how everything in your direct experience is constantly changing. Your thoughts appear and disappear. Feelings come and go. The sounds around you are always shifting. But then gently turn your attention to the one thing that isn't changing, the simple, silent awareness that is witnessing it all. You know, in a way, this is the very spirit of science. All the great scientific breakthroughs happened because someone was brave enough to question a fundamental assumption about the external world. This inquiry is just turning that same powerful method inward, to question the most fundamental assumption we have about ourselves, that I am just this collection of thoughts, feelings, and sensations. So, what's the final takeaway here? Maybe it isn't an answer at all, but just a new question to live with. We have these two powerful ways of knowing. Science turns its gaze outward, and it literally transforms the world. This kind of inquiry turns its gaze inward, and it has the power to transform the one who is looking. And maybe, just maybe, a complete understanding of reality requires us to hold both.